This week in 1952, Jet magazine featured this lunatic in its Mr. and Mrs. section. He is not a celebrity or politician or anyone of significant historical importance. He was just a plain old everyday citizen like you and I, who got himself involved in some felonious hot mess. Well, maybe he wasn't like you and I. I'll read the story, give my commentary, and you can decide if he was like you. Let's get into it. But first, if you like these videos about the most scandalous people from yesteryear that make the hot mess history with Ty Said What Ty Said channel a time capsule for the culture, subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you can know every time that I upload one of these videos or every time that I live stream, and comment "I subscribed" in the comment section so that I can say hello to you. Now, on to why you are here. Today's story comes from this issue of Jet magazine, dated April 3rd, 1952. The article is titled, "3 Die After Jilted Vet Sets Fire to Building," and it reads, 3 persons burned to death in Memphis after Blanche Franklin, a spurned suitor, set fire to a building in an attempt to kill his girlfriend. War veteran Franklin, 32, jailed on a 3-count murder charge, said he ignited crumpled newspaper and tossed it into the doorway of the frame building because he thought the woman who jilted him still lived there. Unknown to him, his ex-girlfriend had moved to another address. That is the entire story. Now, the article calls the woman he was trying to murder his girlfriend. All of the signs tell me that she was his ex-girlfriend, especially when considering that he didn't even know where his sweetheart had moved. I mean, don't girlfriends typically tell their boyfriends that they're moving? Don't girlfriends have their boyfriends help them move? So I'm glad that this very short article does get around to calling her his ex-girlfriend at the end. Clearly, she knew that something wasn't right about this psychopath, and she got herself to a safe place, anywhere away from him. Very sad, on the other hand, that these 3 innocent people who had nothing to do with this maniac or his relationship lost their lives for absolutely no reason. It's rare that I'm able to follow up on these Jet stories about ordinary people because there's just not a lot to find on people who weren't or aren't public figures of some sort. But this story apparently caused quite a stir in Memphis, Tennessee. Here are the subsequent news stories that I was able to find. Revenge-crazed Negro blamed for blaze in which 3 die. Now that's one heck of a title. Aside from what you have already heard in the Jet magazine story, this article offers that he confessed and his motive was simply being under the influence of alcohol. He tried to use his cousin for an alibi and it didn't work. This article also reveals why his girlfriend moved and why this nut job didn't know about it. His girlfriend's name was Katie. He had beat her and had to serve 26 days in prison. I would think jail, but the article does call it prison. While he was locked up, she moved. When he was released, he assumed that Katie was living in the same place. So it sounds very much like he wanted to make her pay for his getting locked up. I'm sure that in his mind, it was her fault. Here is a very strange detail from his confession. He spent the night with a woman named Mattie, who he had been drinking with, and at some point left her company, started the fire, and came back to Mattie's dwelling, which was close to where he set the fire. So, when he heard the fire trucks, he told his female companion to get up and go check on the people at the location of the fire that he started. She had no clue that he had started any fire before he came to be with her for the night, so she told him that he was being crazy and to just sit down and get himself together. Can anyone tell me anywhere in the world where men tell women to go and check on people in burning buildings? That part of the story is so strange to me. Then, 2 days later, as this headline shows, he pleaded innocent to those 3 counts of murder, Yes, after he had already confessed. Then, about 1 month later, he was indicted on murder in the first degree and murder in the perpetration of arson. The final piece of information that I found on this fruitcake was a month after the indictment. He did finally plead guilty to second-degree murder. The state recommended the second-degree murder charge for multiple reasons, one of them being that the state considered this a crime of passion rather than a premeditated act. He would end up having to serve 10 to 20 years. What are your thoughts? Based on what you've heard, is that sentence fair, or too light, or too heavy? In your opinion, was this a crime of passion, or were his acts premeditated? Please comment below. I'd love to see your thoughts. I have published another video about a jilted lover. Thankfully, this story didn't involve fire or death. The star of that video was Lionel Richie. And if you need something to lift your mood after watching this video, you might want to check out that one. And you can see it here. I will also leave a link to it in the description box. My sources for this video are Jet Magazine Archives 1952, the Commercial Appeal Archives 1952, and the Nashville Banner Archives 1952. If you want text notifications so that you can get a text 15 minutes before I release a video or 15 minutes before I live stream, simply send a text to 786-632-2135 to let me know that you want text, and you will get an outgoing text message 15 minutes before I have a new video release. If you have a business, product, service, YouTube channel, or social media account that you would like to promote on my channel, email me at tiwan@tisaidwhattisaid.com to get rates for advertising on my community tab, my live streams, and or my edited videos, just like this one. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Ty Said What Ty Said channel. Please leave a thumbs up and comment so that we can get a discussion going. And share this video on all of your social media, especially your Facebook. That really helps me out a lot. And subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you can know when my next video is ready for you. And if you don't like what I'm saying but you love it, feel free to hit that applaud button just below your video screen there and send me some
donations.
Yeah, baby. See you on the next video.